Okay, let's see if that works, y'all.
within the agency. All I can tell is I
I think
know
YouTube's having issues. I think everybody's been
typically
going trying to
happens
go
to what I
live and they
say.
haven't like
He
nothing.
has, he is a good law enforcement officer, as I know him from my years in the Obama administration. How I can explain it, I really can't, other than to say there is a cult of personality at the head of this administration that people seem to fall behind for. And Tom seems to have done this as well. Looks like you're trying to get attention here, Katie, from... Yeah, well, hold up. I got one more for you before we go to Alex. The Obama administration conducted over 3.1 million deportations. Obama was known as the deporter-in-chief at one point. Can you can you explain to me why this administration believes that in order to deport immigrants, they need to be more forceful, they need to be, they need to have more clashes, they need to be louder about it, they need these videos that they put out touting their immigration enforcement? Why do you believe their approach is so much different than the Obama administration's approach, which, by the way,
No, I
over 8 years,
don't. Well,
3.1
right
million
there.
deportations.
Can you hear me now?
90%,
The
Tom,
fuck?
Katie, of people with criminal convictions being among that group. Now,
YouTube's
we
got
truly did
issues.
focus on threats to public safety. This administration, that's an impossible task for me. But I
No.
when you start any recruitment efforts referring to apprehension and removal as a wartime strategy, and it's actually referred to by administration as wartime.
Okay, I think my phone was glitchy.
And use words like
Okay.
criminals
YouTube's
and
been having
people who
issues
should not
lately, I
be in this
think.
country because their blood
Had to
is not
restart my
our
phone.
blood. This is what is inflaming certain people on the right, and it has to stop. And someone has to call to be called the test about that approach. All right, Sarah Saldana of ICE. Sarah, thank you very much. Formally of ICE,
He's right
of
here.
the Obama administration. We appreciate it, and hopefully you can stick around for us for a little bit as we watch this. But I
There's
Sarah, thank you.
Rockway.
Let's go back to Alex Tabbitt. Alex, I think you're with us. Alex, who exactly,
Hello, Mr.
what's happening? Who
B.
are the
Say
people that are protesting
hello.
right now?
Say hello, Bob.
Right now, the Bureau of
Hello,
Protest
Bob.
Center, community members in
Hello,
Minnesota,
Bob.
were upset that this immigration enforcement
He's a
operation is
puppy.
continuing.
He's a big boy. Dude, a big boy, dude. He don't like cats. He does not like cats. Share it out, y'all. Share the live out to people. I mean, I had to restart my phone. I don't know what's going on. It's freaking YouTube is glitchy.
In or out of this Louisville Federal Building where ICE headquarters. We have not yet seen a detention. So far, we've seen at least 7 detentions. This exact round, we saw no detention.
Yeah, I think Mr. Work was having issues with his too. When he went live, I'm like, the fuck?
Point their tear gas canisters towards the protesters. But so far, at this moment, we have not seen them deployed quite yet. Katie?
Hey, Alex, I don't know if you can do this. I don't know if you're with Carlo again, but maybe you can just zoom out a little bit, back up a little bit, and show
Shauna's
me
good.
the
She's
entirety of
okay.
the crowd. I'm just
She
curious to see how big this is. In addition to
she's just
the
stressed
number
out because she wants
of
to move.
ICE officers,
Um,
DHS officers
you
that
know,
we see at the
she
head of
wants to
that
move out
triangle.
of Denver. I don't blame
Can
her.
you gauge it for me?
But other than
I would
that,
say
she's
it's
okay.
about equal, maybe a couple more Border Patrol officers
She's
than there
just
are
trying to,
protesters. The crowd has
live in
been down.
peace with
Remember,
her
this
life, and
started at 7 a.m. this morning, so
she was
7 a.m. local time, so it's been
answering to
quite a
her
while. I've also
attorney
heard,
earlier,
note,
so,
I've now covered ICE arrays and immigration
well,
arrays in at least 3 different cities. The way that ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, interacts with protesters is a little more subtle than Border Patrol, which really lets
okay,
the guy put
send him
on
a
a show
message, or else I
and,
can't.
and sort of,
I don't want
I don't
to,
want to say
I can't
intimidate
send him a
them.
message. Send him a
They
little
like to
pep.
engage with the protesters. They like to have a show of force. They
I
like to
can't.
almost
I don't
show
want
off
to,
in some ways
you
for
know.
the cameras. And that's a little bit what we're seeing
I
right
hope the
now.
hell I don't have
We're
to have
seeing
another
every single cop coming
endoscopy,
in, several
Ralph.
cars
Jesus
speeding.
Christ, I've had
At least
two
a
of
couple
them.
dozen Border Patrol
Would you like
officers
to go for
leave the
3?
premises as well, and in many cases charge and detain
Oh yeah, it's
these
nice.
protesters.
It's
Border
it
Patrol officers
is.
filming this themselves?
I
I don't know
don't.
what the temperature
And
is.
from
I'm
what
not
I can
sure.
see, there's not visible body
I don't know what the
cameras
temperature is
on.
here.
Actually, no, I see one. I see one. Oh, no, that's not true.
No
I
idea.
do see a couple of body cameras on those border patrol officers. It's not entirely clear whether or not they're actually turned on or not. But apart from those body cams.
Oh, 82 there?
No, we don't see any other cameras or anything like that.
I don't know what the
Okay, so
temperature
we're
is
try to
here.
film this for
No
their own
idea.
use a little bit later. Alex Tabbitt. Alex, thank you so much. We're going to come back to you if it flares up again. We're going to keep watching, and as we speak with and coming up next, we're going to speak with a pastor who says he was handcuffed by federal agents during the protest yesterday. We're going to tell you what he says they told him. Next, though, we're going to talk to the top Democrat on the House Armed Services Committee.
Yeah.
Yes, I did forget. Our president of OSO is Gabe Garcia. He's also
The hell
sitting
is
behind
this?
here. OSO is an organization of Spanish-speaking officers. With that, I'm going to turn it over to the first vice president of the TMPA, Bill Nelson, to have a few words before the governor speaks.
Thank you, Ray. My name is Bill Nelson. I'm the first vice president of the Texas Municipal Police Association. We represent over
The hell is
30,000
this?
officers across this state. We are the voice of Texas law enforcement. TMPA has proudly supported Governor Abbott since the beginning of his statewide political career. TMPA was the first law enforcement organization to endorse the governor for Texas Attorney General in 2002, recognizing his commitment to uphold the rule of law and protecting Texas communities. From 2002 to 2015, as the Texas Attorney General, Governor Abbott served as the state's top law enforcement officer, leading efforts to combat crime and support officers on the front lines. Championing law enforcement, Governor Abbott has opposed defunding the police. He's proposed legislation to freeze property tax increases
Right.
for cities that cut police budgets.
I
He's
know that's
deployed
right,
Texas
Ralph.
DPS troopers to maintain order in areas like Austin, where local politics threaten public safety. Proven leader to Texas law enforcement. Governor Abbott
I don't know what the
support
fuck
for
this
criminal
is.
justice and law enforcement spans over 2 decades.
Oh, back to blue.
From his days as Attorney General to his current role as governor, he has fought for the
Shut up.
Important. We'll be looking at that video and talking about it ahead.
Yes, who's back?
Okay, that's a good question.
In all the news you didn't know you needed.
That means some good news is coming.
Well, I know, right? Yeah. I seen it on YouTube. Yeah, they've had it on X. They had it. She was trying to get away or something. Exactly. And they said it was a domestic. She was a domestic terrorist. If you want to see what a domestic terrorist is, fool, go overseas.
No, I beat my pain and congestion when you use the next
She was a citizen. Fuck.
very dry, tight, sensitive.
Trump murdered her. Trump did it. Know what I mean?
Soothing triple oak complex. Clinically proven to heal and
Ah,
strengthen
yo.
your skin. Viva, your skin stronger.
Liberty Mutual customized.
Am I in
Me either.
Liberty Mutual commercials where they stand in front of the Statue of Liberty and talk about how Liberty Mutual customizes your pawn shop so you only pay for what you need?
Fuck.
Yes.
What happens in this one?
Seagulls.
Yeah, it was sad. There was no excuse for that. Absolutely
I
none.
like it. How are you doing?
A freaking commercial with all the birds. That's some funny shit. He would do was sitting on the bench and all these birds came and attacked him. Right. I'll be rich if I take the oil.
Someone you don't know about this?
Well,
I'm just enjoying this wild ride.
I don't think so. Just maybe.
radar.
I couldn't quite do things like I used to. You know, my God,
I mean, come on.
I love the support, and when I got into martial arts, we got in it together. The real fight deserves a real boost.
officer knows these parts well.
Help save the planes, Wes.
Outlaws in 500 feet. Rerouting.
Regular! Innovation changes. With one investment, you could access the NASDAQ 100 years for rethinking the world. Before investing, you need to consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more. Prospectus at investment.com.
Bronchiectasis flares
Right?
make you loud. So loud, your flares can feel like they take over. And the worst part? Flares can cause permanent damage to your lungs. It's time to quiet your bronchiectasis flares by preventing as many as you can.
Okay, Ralph.
Ask a pulmonologist about a different bronchiectasis
Send a
treatment
message to
option that can help
Shauna,
you learn more
little
at
pep,
treatbe.com.
just to work. Where are you taking me? The fuck?
This is the hard part, as I said, and Trump doesn't know exactly what is coming going forward. And let's be clear,
Okay.
the tragedy of this is Maduro was an awful leader. All these people out there supporting Maduro, and that doesn't help anything. Maduro and Chavez and Castro, for that matter, and radical left governments were terrible for the people of Venezuela, the people of Cuba. Even in Argentina, extreme socialism led to out-of-control inflation. That doesn't work either. And now Trump is forcing us back into a world where it's either that, or it's either that or some right-wing form of government that doesn't pay any attention.
Senate voted 52 to 47 on a bipartisan War Powers resolution. All of the Democrats joined by Rand Paul, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, Todd Young, and Josh Hawley to restrict the president in Venezuela. Do you believe that'll pass the House?
It's a good step. I think it's got a strong chance to pass the House. And finally, at least a few Republicans are standing up for Congress. That's the other aspect of this, is Trump is exercising the executive power in clear violation of the law and also diminishing the United States Congress, which Speaker Mike Johnson's Majority Leader John Thune have for the most part stood back and allowed to happen, allowed us to treat ourselves as irrelevant. So it's good that the Senate has done this. I am somewhat optimistic that the House is waking up as well, and hopefully we'll pass that resolution and begin to A, reassert the authority of the United States Congress, and B, put very appropriate checks on Donald Trump's ill-conceived Latin American adventure.
Congressman.
We do have a lot of videos for this, but first, I just want to go over, as we talk so much about what was proper, what wasn't. What is the usual process for what an ICE officer should do when it comes to engaging with a member of the community related to a vehicle, related to drawing a weapon?
Great question. I think, without going into the specifics of this, because I don't want to pass judgment of the particular incident, as professional responsibility team at ICE, and potentially the Inspector General's office, and certainly the FBI, they will be assessing this for further adjudication. But generally speaking, it is policy guidance department-wide that officers don't chase vehicles. It is also policy that officers do not shoot at vehicles to either stop them or slow them down, unless, like the general policy for use of deadly force, there's imminent danger or threat, and there is no reasonable alternative. In other words, if the officer could have just jumped out of the way or gone past, that's what he should have done. And the questions will be raised when he's asked by various investigators in this case as to whether or not he reasonably could have jumped out of the way, because it would have been a requirement for him to do so.
What about, there's a lot of other officers.
Hey, Jonathan. Welcome back.
Other officers on the scheme of things when discharging a weapon. We've seen other cases. In one other operation, an ICE officer actually shot a U.S. Marshal. And that's something you're trying to avoid, that kind of crossfire. At what point does an officer have to consider how close another officer is to the line of fire?
Well, that's part of the rules of engagement. They're supposed to consider everyone around them, not just officers.
You're welcome.
Potential media, potential bystanders. And I will tell you that this is something that actually goes to the heart of my concern for the last year. You know, shortly after the surge and the cooperation agreements with marshals and the FBI, and DEA, and CBP to conduct interior enforcement, coupled with the fact that standards for recruitment had been lowered so much, and they were bringing in a surge of new ICE officers. I have heard from a number of career professionals within the agency that one of their concerns before any of this ever happened was that these people were not going to be trained properly. They were going to be thrown into the field and collectively thrown into
I know that, Ralph.
business conducted because they're not trained.
Oh, he was a sinner.
That someone was going to end up shot. Either a citizen, either a migrant, someone from the press, some other innocent bystander, or another fellow agent. And so this has been something that's been haunting me since I heard that Miss Good was killed, that this was something that we saw coming. And until some policies change, it's going to happen again.
Now, inexperience, that doesn't appear to be the case here. This appears to be an experienced individual, part of a special response team, which maybe you can speak to kind of what that is. That's more like a lead response team. But also we heard from the vice president that this was someone who several months ago, in a totally separate incident, was dragged by a car for 50 yards and injured, had 36 stitches in his leg. The vice president sort of saying, oh, so you think he was a little sensitive? I mean, obviously someone might be from that, but you still have a responsibility to not let that somehow impact your future professional behavior, I would imagine.
No, absolutely. And the thing is that there's a lot of resources within the agency, so that way people with confidence and confidentiality can go speak to someone to see if they're actually traumatized by prior engagements, by whether it be with stripping a child from a mother's arms or discharging a weapon, whether psychologically they're able to continue working without harm of being demoted or having your firearm taken away. Hopefully that in fact happened. But I will tell you that regardless of what the experience may be in terms of length of years, the agency is not trained to deal with large crowds. The agency is not trained like local law enforcement to deal with members of the community. This was a recipe for disaster, and it's one that we knew was going to happen sooner or later. For those of us that are concerned with which way the agency is now being managed.
You feel like you saw it coming?
Absolutely, and it haunted me since I heard of the passing away last yesterday.
John and Maya, thank you so much for being with us. We'll be right back.
Want to hear something?
Yo.
So honestly, we've had trouble with this corner for years. Water, ice seems to come in and block the water. It's just really broken up with it. I am so excited about this.
Oh my god, boneless wings or nuggets? Oh my god. Hmm. Oh, okay, Carl, it's okay. It's alright. It happens. Come back, Carl.
Just even seeing that the Republican chair of the Senate Armed Services Committee says Denmark is not going to sell food after Pastor Senator Roger Wicker telling reporters that it was Denmark's quote prerogative and right to decline talks on the sale of the ceremony. CNN St. Robertson described in Finland and filing this report for us.
Everyone with the UN is worried about President Trump's threats for national security reasons to take control of Greenland. They're worried that he could do it by military force. The vast majority of people here, last poll, only 6% said they wanted the United States to take control. The vast majority of people here do want independence, but eventually, not necessarily right now. But just speaking to one person up in the Atlantic, he said to me, President Trump thinks he's a big man, but we see lately, we think of him as a small person. They're like he tells me. They're worried that it's going to change irreversibly as the United States takes control. Danish politicians are worried. Greenland politicians are worried. We know that the Foreign Minister of Greenland is expected to meet, along with the Foreign Minister of Denmark, expected to meet. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced me that the Danish Foreign Minister asked for that meeting. He said it was necessary because we need to get Greenland some kind of conversation. They feel that the United States doesn't understand what Denmark wants, what Greenland has to tap already in terms of resources and potential troop deployment. And the Foreign Minister of Denmark also said that we need to bring the rhetoric down, tone it down. But the Danish Prime Minister has used even stronger language and said, look, President Trump takes this area back force, Greenland, but that's the end of NATO. The European Union is standing lockstep behind Denmark and Greenland right now.
Oh, okay, Ralph. I mean, Jonathan.
The other headlines that we're watching is our California Governor Gavin Newsom delivering his final State of the State speech today, highlighting efforts there to fight homelessness, crime, and rising healthcare costs. He's also declaring the state a blueprint for the rest.
Well, you're right. It wouldn't be any fun. Reverend Callahan joins me now. Reverend, thank you for joining us. These are some explosive allegations. Tell me about what happened.
So as I arrived at church yesterday, I noticed that there was something going on just a block and a half from the church. And so I grabbed my whistles because we're used to doing that. And I went down to see what was going on. And I realized because it was an ICE raid, and there were many, many protesters. So I joined the protesting, and before I knew it, I saw ICE agents circling a young woman who appeared to be Hispanic. And so I approached her, and we were at that point chanting, "We are not afraid, we are not afraid, go out of our state, we are not afraid." And I said to this ICE agent, "Take me, stop harassing her, take me." The agent came, got in my face, pointed a gun at me, and said, "Are you afraid now?" To which I said, "I am not afraid." The next thing I knew, they were putting handcuffs on me, and they put me in the back of an SUV. They came back 3 times, and they asked me if I was afraid yet. To which I replied, "Hell no, I'm not afraid of you, and I'm never going to be afraid of you." The third time when they came back, they asked for my identification, they asked for my cell phone, I asked them if I was under arrest, they didn't answer, and then they said to me, "Well, you're white, you won't be any fun anyway, you can get out of the car." I was astounded to experience and see such blatant racism and the effects that this is having on our community. But let me tell you, the other thing that I was amazed by was the number of different kinds of persons that were showing up at that rally to support immigrants and to be able to
Nice, Ralph. I mean, nice, Jonathan.
because this is what we do. And so I was grateful to be there, and grateful
Nice.
to stand in solidarity with anyone who is marginalized within our society, and will continue to advocate for the rights
Laptops aren't cheap, let me tell you.
here in Minneapolis and around the world.
That is a shocking thing for you to say, said to you. Was there any other agent around? Did anybody say, did anybody look at the scans? Was there any reaction?
There were 2
I might go
other
later
agents,
live,
and
y'all.
I don't know what they were saying. I was so
Right?
shocked. There
Right,
were 2
Carl?
other persons in the car with me that they released, and I don't know what they were doing to them, but I know that their experiences were the same. It was definitely intimidation at its finest, and they were pepper spraying people yesterday as well and pushing people to the ground. And we
Wow.
were non-violently protesting.
That is.
Supporting our immigrant siblings and our neighbors that are being attacked by these ICE agents.
Was there any talk about the woman who was shot? When the ICE agents
I might
said,
go
"Are you
live
afraid
later,
yet?"
y'all. See y'all
What
later.
did you understand?